everybody, welcome to my channel. I'm Farah, and today's video is going to be another vlog. So it's about October 18th. We've got about 2 weeks left for October, and I have hopefully 3 books to get to. I don't know if that'll happen, to be honest. But right now I just finished Dracula, so I started my next Victober book, which is called A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. So this is my first Charles Dickens book, believe it or not, that I've ever read, and I already owned it, so I wanted to try to see if I could read it. I'm only a few chapters in so far, and it's a little confusing to me so far. I'm having a hard time getting into it. I know I haven't really scratched the surface yet, but I initially tried it on audio. It just wasn't working. It was too confusing, so I am going to sit down and try to get through the first couple of chapters, try to get a better idea of what the story is about. So hopefully once I do that, I'll be able to pick the audio back up and listen to it that way. I also really hope to get to Halloween Party by Agatha Christie. That's my 3rd book in my Agatha Christie reading project that I'm doing. And I also would love to try to get to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein as well. That's a classic that's been on my list for ages. I already have it waiting for me. So hopefully I'll be able to get to those 3 books for the rest of the month before we move on to November. Yeah, so I just wanted to kind of introduce the vlog, and I'm outside today on a beautiful walk. It is gorgeous out today. It's not even really that cold. I don't know why I have a hat on, but the trees are beautiful. Yeah, it's been nice. I've just been listening to the birds. It's so quiet out here, and it's just nice to get some fresh air and take a good walk. So yeah, I will check in with you guys once I get a little more into A Tale of Two Cities. You found an apple? Yummy! Good boy. Hey everyone, just a quick reading update. I hope you can hear me okay. The audio on my phone has been horrible. I'm not sure how to fix it. I'm just trying to hold out until I can get a new phone. But just want to give you a quick reading update. I think I decided to shelve A Tale of Two Cities for right now. I finished book 1, and oh, there he goes. And I'm just having a really hard time getting into it, unfortunately. It's not a book that I can really do on audio, so I abandoned that attempt, and now I'm just reading it physically. But I think maybe I'm reading it too soon after Dracula, and I just need to read something a little bit more light, and something that is a little bit more Halloween themed, since we have about a week and a half to go until Halloween. So I decided to pick up Magic Bites, which is my 2nd pick for the Occult Detective October reading event that I'm doing. And this will classify for the 4th prompt, which is modern. And yeah, I started the audio on that, and I'm really enjoying it so far. It's really light, and it's good. And in that book, we're following the main character, Kate Daniels. This is told in the 1st-person point of view. And she's some kind of magical detective where she helps fix all these magical problems that are happening. It's an urban fantasy. I'm not really that into it yet, so I can't really tell too much about the plot, but I've heard it really recommended by a lot of YouTubers. I did hear that the 1st book is kind of dry, though, but once you get through that, the rest of the series is really good. So that's going to be my audiobook for right now. Look how pretty these trees are. Oh my gosh. I am at my aunt and uncle's house right now, and just letting their dog out during my lunch break. But I think I also am going to start Halloween Party by Agatha Christie today as well. So hopefully can start moving forward with the books. Hello, I'm out on my, you guessed it, my lunch break walk. And I just wanted to catch you guys up really quickly. I ended up reading a really quick short story last night by Edgar Allan Poe called The Fall of the House of Usher. And if we're being completely honest, the only reason I ended up reading it was because there's a show on Netflix that just came out by the same director that did some of my favorite shows that I've seen on there, which are the Haunting of Hill House, which is an adaptation of the Shirley Jackson, I think it is, novel. And then we have The Haunting of Bly Manor, which is an adaptation of The Turn of the Screw. I think that's what it is. So I really wanted to watch the Netflix adaptation of Fall of the House of Usher, but I wanted to read the Edgar Allan Poe short story first. There's also a T. Kingfisher short story novella adaptation of the same thing, or a retelling that I'm interested in reading. So I read The Fall of the House of Usher, and it was interesting, but it was really difficult for me. This is my first Edgar Allan Poe, a Poe newbie. I'm sure I read some stuff in high school, but I really don't know a lot of his works. I'm not really good at reading poetry. I have a hard time with it, unless I just haven't found the right poetry for me yet. But this short story, it was very interesting. It was very hard in the beginning to figure out what was going on, so I read it twice in a row, basically. But it was interesting. It tells the story of our narrator who goes to visit his childhood friend named Roderick Usher at their childhood home, which is a huge mansion that he shares with his twin sister. And we know that the twin sister's not doing well. She's very ill, and he himself is suffering from mental illness as well, hypochondria. He doesn't know it at the time. There isn't the terminology yet back in that time to really describe what he's going through and the anxieties that he's going through. So we just see the unraveling of the two siblings and what happens to them. And I'm not going to really get into spoilers in case you want to read it really quickly, but it was interesting. It was very interesting. The second time I read it, I caught on more to it. But there's a really funny adaptation or explanation of the summary and analysis done by this YouTube channel that I found just to Google it, and I'll leave it below because it just made me laugh how it's like Thug Notes or something like that. It was really funny. But yeah, that's another quick little spooky thing I wanted to add to the vlog. I have to show you this right now. So behind me, you can see this walking path out in the woods on my uncle's property, and the town or something came through and cleared out this huge path because I think they needed access to some telephone lines. But essentially, it's this brand new little walking path. I'm just going to show you how pretty the leaves look. So this is what I was just looking at. The start of the path goes up that way, but it's so quiet and it's so beautiful, and I just wish everybody had access to quiet places like this so they can just go and walk around. And I can't imagine living in a huge city. God bless you guys that do. I would go crazy. But it's almost like this little tunnel of leaves. It's really pretty. But yeah, I'm gonna keep going with my walk, and I think that's it for now. I'm still working on Magic Bites by Ilona Andrews, and that's just fun. I'm really not going to talk too much about that. It's a book, the first book in a series. We're looking for, it's a whodunit, occult detective mystery, and it's fun. It's just easy and light fun. I am also beginning Halloween Party by Agatha Christie, but that will have its own separate vlog. So yeah, not sure how much more I'll chat with about in this vlog in terms of what I can get to, but hopefully a little bit. There goes my Fitbit. My heart is racing. Okay, I'll talk to you guys later. So a few minutes ago it was snowing, as you might have seen. Now it is sunny and snow is gone, but I just wanted to do a really quick catch up with you guys. Today is Halloween and I'm going to be wrapping up the vlog, but just want to give you a really quick catch up for how the rest of the reading went this vlog. So my vlogs usually take place over 2 weeks. The first half of the month, I had a really good reading month. I finished Sunbearer Trials and Dracula, and they were both really good. I really enjoyed those. The second half of October was interesting. I guess I had an audiobook slump, which I do get from time to time, and just a lot of the things that I had planned on wanting to read on audio just didn't work out for me. So just to recap, I tried to start A Tale of Two Cities for Victober, and it wasn't working on audio. It was too confusing. I couldn't pay attention to it, so I switched to the physical book. And then as I started reading it, I just realized that I just wasn't in the mood for it. And I think that there was just too many other books that I wanted to read that had more to do with spooky season. So I am realizing that Victober doesn't really work for me in October. So maybe Victober is more like a January thing, I think, for me. So I did shelve that. I'll be picking that back up in a couple months. Then I got into Magic Bites by Ilona Andrews, which is part of her Kate Daniels series. It's book number 1, and I really, really enjoyed it. I just finished that today, and again, I tried the audio, wasn't working for me, so I switched to the physical book, and that's fine. But this is just an urban fantasy, and we're following this young woman named Kate Daniels, who is a mercenary, and she's an investigator, and she cleans up other people's messes, basically. But what I really liked was that the world building was really fun. It takes place in magical realism, so a world just like ours, but with magic in it, and their world fluctuates between magic and technology. So they get these waves of magic where all the technology will shut down, but people can use magic, and then unpredictably, the magic shuts down and all the tech comes back. So you could be driving a car and it stops working all of a sudden because the magic wave came over. But she's basically in the middle of these two big factions of people, shapeshifters and necromancers, which control vampires. And she's investigating the murder of her guardian or her adopted father. So the heroine was really funny. She's so relatable and likable, and her sense of humor was great. She had this really dry sense of humor. she just called out a lot of BS, and she was really just like a badass. She was really smart. She was a great fighter. So really, really enjoyed that book. And my only critique would be that I felt like I was dropping into the middle of a series. There was a lot of questions that I had, a lot of things that weren't really explained very well. But I did hear that book number 2 is excellent and that it explains a lot more. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be continuing in the series right now because I have to read what I own first, get through a bunch of books that I already own. But definitely a series that I hope to pick up, once I get through my other books. And then I also finished, I told you about, I read The Fall of Usher, which I enjoyed. Difficult, but I enjoyed. And then I'm also reading a retelling of that, which is a novella by T. Kingfisher called What Moves the Dead. And this one's pretty good too. I am enjoying it. It's a pretty close retelling to the Edgar Allan Poe version. And it's pretty short. I'll probably finish that within the next day or two. And Agatha Christie, Halloween Party. Just a little ways into that. This one I am finding is really hard to get into. It's really slow in the beginning. So I am still going to finish it though. But none of these I really can do on audio. They don't work well for me. So yeah, it's gonna push into my nonfiction November a little bit, but it's okay. No big deal. So just wanted to give you guys that update. I'm going to end the vlog now and I'll start up tomorrow, November 1st. And I hope you guys had a great reading month, and I can't wait to hear everybody's thoughts about the books that they read and try to catch up on all of your videos. But just wanted to say thank you for watching. You guys know I say it every time, but I really appreciate it. So take care, everybody, and I will see you guys soon in my next video.